Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey. Mayor Frey, thank you for joining us. Let me just start with that Justice Department investigation. Have you received a subpoena yet?
We have not received a subpoena. And at the same time, if the rumors are true, this is deeply concerning because this is way more important than just me. This is a very serious matter. And this whole investigation would ultimately be the product of one of the most basic foundational responsibilities that I have as mayor, which is to speak on behalf of my constituents. You know, there are other countries where you get put away for the things that you say. There are other countries where you get investigated for saying something that runs counter to what the federal government states. But in this country, it's not that way. Here we have a freedom of speech, and we do not negotiate those rights away.
So if and when that subpoena comes and we are told that investigation has been launched, will you comply with the Justice Department's demands?
Look, we have done nothing wrong. So, of course, we will comply, but at the same time, we need to be understanding how wild this is. And whether it's Senator Slotkin or Governor Walz or myself, this is not the way that we conduct ourselves in America. We are doing everything possible right now to keep people safe in our city. We have spoken out to make sure that our residents are protected and people's constitutional rights are upheld. Speaking out in that way is not illegality. In fact, that is enshrined in the charter of our city, which is our Constitution.
So Governor Walz has activated the National Guard, put them on standby just in case things got out of control. How tense are things in Minneapolis right now?
The intensity is caused by the unwanted, uninvited people that are here in the form of ICE. To give you an idea, we have about 600 police officers in total in Minneapolis, and there's somewhere in the range of 3,000 ICE agents and border control. They're indiscriminately taking people off the street. They're asking for IDs and passports if you happen to look like you're Latino or you're Somali. And while certainly you see on the news the incidents that are of heightened tension, we have a whole lot of the rest of the city where there's calm. And the calm exists where you don't have ICE agents. So if you are looking to restore order and prevent chaos, there's a very straightforward antidote, and that is for ICE to leave. That is for our local police officers, who, by the way, are working tirelessly, and our community members to be in charge of keeping people safe in our city. We have had not that many shootings this year thus far, but I'll tell you, two of maybe the 4 or 5 have been ICE. And so that gives you an idea right there of who's causing the tension, and we're going to do everything possible here to keep people safe.
It is remarkable that in your city right now, as you have just laid out, that federal law enforcement officers outnumber local police by 5 to 1. What is your message to protesters on how they should handle that situation? Because I've heard you say several times, don't take the bait. What is your message now to protesters?
The message hasn't changed, and at the same time, we have had tens of thousands of people in Minneapolis stand up and protest peacefully. We've got people sliding down these hills of ice to attend a protest and making sure that people would have food that are scared to go outside because they're afraid of having their families ripped apart. I think it's important to tell the whole country that this is not just about resistance here in Minneapolis. It's about love. We are showing something far more powerful and consequential here, which is love. We are standing up for one another. You've got neighbors helping neighbors. You've got people uniting and coming together in this beautiful way. And obviously, we've got these threats out there from the federal government that were literally designed to intimidate Minneapolis residents, to intimidate me. But here's the thing. We're not going to be intimidated. We've got this beautiful city full of extraordinary people. I have never been prouder to be from Minneapolis.
But let me ask you, during those incredibly emotional moments and hours after the shooting of Renee Good, you went on national television and you said to ICE, "Get the F out of Minneapolis." Do you regret that language? I mean, that doesn't sound like turning the temperature down.
I don't regret it at all. In the moments before I went out there to do that press conference, I learned that Kristi Noem had already jumped to a conclusion as to the ICE agent's conduct, saying that it was purely self-defense. Minutes or hours later, you had her saying that Renee Good was a domestic terrorist. If I seemed like I was angry and frustrated, I was. And part of my responsibility as mayor is to channel what the people in our city are feeling. And the people in our city were angry. They were upset. And at the same time, from the very beginning, we were saying the same thing, which is we gotta keep the peace. We're not going to counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos here. Yes, we stand up. Yes, we peacefully protest. And we're not going to go down this route that gives them the excuse to come in with greater numbers. They're looking for an excuse. They're trying to intimidate Minneapolis residents, but I'll tell you, I've seen tens of thousands of people remain composed, to line up to get groceries to people that are scared to go outside, to make sure that people have a walk to their car on their way back home from work. I mean, there have been so many beautiful things that have taken place here in Minneapolis, and I'll tell you, this is another thing to remember, it's January in Minneapolis.
It's cold.
It's like negative temperatures out there, but people have never felt warmer.
All right, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.